Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new nominating contract pack on eFootball. We've got the Role Changers theme back. Players have been playing in a new position. So as always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player. So if you want to hear about a particular player, just click on the description. I'll be able to take you straight to them. It's the usual deal. We've got 2 4-stars over here and 6 5-stars. So let's start with the 4-stars. Let's start with Ethan Mbappé. So Ethan Mbappé does not have a face scan yet. I imagine at some point he'll get one. So this guy is normally a centre midfielder and an orchestrator. They've made him a fully proficient right midfield, and they've made him a right midfield whole player. They've also made him a semi-proficient right wing forward. If you want to make him a right wing forward, you just need to increase his proficiency once in that position. He's a lefty, so he'll be an inverted wing if you play him on the right hand side. Only in consistent form and French league, so yet another card where we don't have any of the regular league changes, so there's limited use for this guy. But of course, you could use him for your French squad. Maybe some other kind of theme squad. Maybe you've got a squad full of brothers and relatives. But yeah, limited use for him. But you got right midfield as well as centre midfield now. And then skill wise, they've added one skill, a long range curler. You've already got one touch and through there. Soul control, a couple of skills on the ball, super. So we've got a decent set of skills there for a right mid or for a centre mid. He'd be very attack minded centre mid because there's nothing defensively there. But we'll see what positions he's good in when we train him up on eFootball Hub. So let's do exactly that. Where is eFootball Hub? Just 1 second. There it is. And there is 30 trained up boosted Ethan Mbappé. So for a 4-star, that looks alright to me. That looks decent. I'm not sure where he's losing the points to make him only a 4-star, not a 5-star, because he's not far off a 5-star. Finishing's not amazing. That's probably one thing that you could do, boosting a bit. But on the whole, he looks alright. From his GP card, they boosted him mainly with his on the ball, his awareness and finishing, albeit his finishing's still a bit bad. He's got a bit more pace and kicking power than normal. His biggest boost on his physical contact and balance. Nothing on his low pass, but that's okay for a wide man. As they often do, they're taking 1 or 2 points off his place kicking and curl. That's annoying, actually. To lose a bit of curl. Would have been nice to have a boost on his curl. If you're playing as an inverted wing off the right wing, cutting aside, they have given him long range curler, but to nerf his curl a bit right instead of boosting it, it's a bit of a shame because his finishing isn't that great in the first place. Lost a bit of defensive awareness and tackling as well, but is that important on the right wing? And not really, albeit you could still play him centre mid. But yeah, on the whole, I think for a right wing, he looks alright. It is a bit of a shame, I think, for a lot of people that his finishing's not a bit higher and they've not boosted his curl. They've actually nerfed it slightly. That does harm him a bit, but he's decent on the ball. The attacking ways isn't too bad. His passing's okay for a wide man. Got good pace, good balance. Yeah, I don't think you can complain for a 4-star contract, certainly. Would I change much with the build? Got 1 on defending, I'll take that for a start. Be nice to get that attacking awareness up by 1. I'll probably just do that, to be honest. I don't think you need to do a great deal more. You can nick 1 of his passing there. You can nick even more of his passing, to be honest. If you want to boost that finishing a bit, that might be an idea. And then just be careful with his passing and his shooting, but to get his shooting up a bit there may well be worthwhile. I've got 1 left there. I'll stick that 1 in aerial. I don't think I'd really spend too much time shuffling points around with this guy. I don't think you really need to. I think it's just a question of the passing and finishing. If you're really not bothered about the passing, you take all the points of passing and nudge his finishing up slightly more, but is it worth it? I mean, you can almost get that finishing up to 80. Do you really want to do that? It's not like it's going to make a massive difference, but I mean, you could do if you're not too bothered about attacking awareness, for example. Yeah, you could do that. You could get that finishing up to 80. For me, though, I don't think it's worthwhile. I'll just leave. I wouldn't go past about 8 on shooting there, and then I'll go back to whatever I did previously, which I've forgotten already. I think it was that, wasn't it? Yeah, I'd probably just do that. If you're more concerned about the passing than the finishing, you can go back to similar to the auto allocation, get the low pass up to 80 at least, maybe something like that. But either way, you're going to have to be careful with the passing or the finishing or both. But it's going to be decent on the ball. The attacking awareness is all right. It's not amazing, but it's all right for a wide man. I think 80 plus for a whole player wide midfielder is just fine. And like I say, he's got the pace and the balance there. Stamina is poor. He is going to get tired, so that's something to keep in mind. He's not got the super sub skill. Oh, he has got the super sub skill. I didn't notice that. Right, so we got a super sub. Quite a few super sub cards lately. So yeah, could one of these cards is best as a super sub. Bring him on second half because if you start him by around about the hour mark, he will be tired. So that's stamina, something to keep in mind. But outside of that, though, certainly with his the athleticism, the on the ball stats, he's going to be decent on the ball. Whole player playing style, be making some good attacking runs. Yeah, he looks like he could be alright. I think for a 4-star, this guy's pretty decent, to be fair. In terms of other positions, if you put him back in his normal position, He's actually had a highlight card, by the way. I nearly forgot to mention that. He's had one highlight card. That highlight card is a bit better as a centre mid and as a right midfielder. If you train his highlight card as a right midfielder, he's not quite as quick as this one, but he's got a slightly better end product. But yeah, if you make him a centre midfielder, he could do a job. But yeah, as I mentioned when we were looking at the skills before we started training him up, defensively he's absolutely horrific, and that's with 7. They've gone up to 7 on defending there. So yeah, if you're going to play him in the middle, he's going to be very attack minded. If he's that bad defensively, I'll just take all his points off defending and make him better going forward, because that's what he's going to be better at. The passing is not amazing, and that's all the way up to 12 on passing. Those spare points I'll go on dexterity, because he's a whole player. Get that attacking awareness up for a whole player. I think that's important. I'd be doing probably something like that. Yeah, as a very attack-minded centre mid, or if you want to position train him as an attacking mid, I'll be doing that. He does have one-touch passing through passing, but that low pass still, that's fully boosted. See, before the game plan boost, there's only 83 low pass. That's not great. So you'd have to be careful with his passing there. But as an attack-minded centre mid or as an attack midfield, if you position trainer for that position, you could definitely do a job. The finishing's pretty iffy. The passing, you have to be careful. So yeah, he's looking a lot more like a 4-star card through the middle. But you do have that option. And then defensive mid, I think, is pretty much out of the question. But we'll auto-allocate that one just to see. Yeah, defensive mid, look at those defensive stats. Wow, yeah, beast. Yeah, you can forget defensive mid. You can actually make him a right back if you want to. I'm not expecting much. Yeah. So, I mean, you got the pace, but stamina's bad. Defensively, absolutely awful. Yeah, he's not a right back. He's very much going to be a right wing, I think. He could do a job, like I say, as an attack-minded centre mid, or if you made him an attacking midfielder. It could be decent, but not amazing. But I think certainly as a right winger, yes, you can be a bit careful with the end product, but and the stamina as well, because you will get tired. And of course, it goes against him. There's no regular league challenge for French players from the French league. But I think for a 4-star contract as an inverted winger, he could be tidy, especially as a whole player from right midfield. Or if you want to make him a right wing forward, you might want to shove some points around, make his finishing better, especially as a right wing forward. But generally speaking, as a left-footed right winger for a 4-star contract, I think you could do a lot worse. Maybe it's not an amazing card, but certainly one of the better 4-stars I think we've had recently. Right. Who's our other 4-star? Ayumu Seko. I'm not familiar with this guy. So we've got a face scan because he's from Japan. This guy's normally a centre-back. He's normally a build-up. They've made him an anchorman defensive midfielder this time. He's also had a previous highlight. This is a bit better than his previous highlight. He's very two-footed. That's one positive. But again, there is the negative. This guy is also from the French league, so no regular league change for this guy either. So that is a shame. They're limited use for him. But there are a fair few people who like to rock a Japan squad sometimes. So yeah, maybe for your Japan squad could be an option. We'll see how good he is. Skill wise, again, they've given him one new skill, and that is one-touch pass. So one-touch pass, weighted, low lofted. Would be nice if you had through passing if you're going to use him in midfield. Defensively, we've got heading, and aerial, and interception. That's it. So yeah, whichever position you use this guy in, he's going to need at least 1 or 2 skills, potentially a whole bunch of skills. So that's a negative as well. But let's train him up to see how good he is. And as a defense midfielder, at least he is, yeah, all right, not amazing. I mean, as is often the case, I've had this rant a million times, but you can't trust auto allocation. Sometimes it's all right. More often than not, it's not. Going up to 13 on defending there, I mean, yes, you want to beef those defensive stats up. They're very important on DMF on an anchor man, but that last increase is 4 points. Is it really worth it? No. I'm going to just immediately tear his 4 points and nudge his physical contact up to the 80 mark, and then where are you going to put the last one? Make him a little bit more comfortable on the ball, because he does need to be able to control the ball in midfield. Maybe a controversial opinion, but that's my opinion. Defensively fairly strong. He could do with a bit more physical strength, certainly. And down the left for some people, he's maybe a bit iffy on the ball. For others, I think he's fine. Let's just do a very defensive build here, because there are plenty of people who really don't mind these stats down the left being a bit on the low side for an anchor man. So if we keep it down to 4 on passing and dribbling there, leave 4 on dexterity, leave the lower body at 8. I don't want to dip any lower on the stamina, so freed up 10 points there. I would immediately go up to 8 on aerial there, and those last 4, probably give him a bit more acceleration. So yeah, as a real defensive midfielder, screening a defense, as I mentioned with the skills, you will need a few skills if you're going to use them in that way. Yes, interception is an important one. He's got flying experience. He's going to be decent in the air for a DMF. It's about 6'1", heading and aerial, jumping's just in the 80s there. So yeah, he'll be decent in the air for a DMF. Not amazing, but decent. but no man marking, there's no blocker, acrobatic clearance, there's a few defensive skills he is lacking as a defensive midfielder. So yeah, skill-wise, he is lacking a few, but in terms of the stats, he could do a job. Is he going to be great there? No. And he's not one of these DMFs who's got great leg coverage either, albeit it's not terrible. But yeah, he's just one who could do a job. And like I say, I think primarily for a Japan squad, some people might look at him and think he could be a decent option, but he's not amazing. It's just, he got some pretty solid defensive stats, but elsewhere there's quite a few stats that are kind of okay-ish, but just not great. So yeah, could do a job DMF, but not an exciting one. If you want him to be more of an all-rounder, or do a kind of centre mid-build or a kind of build that you could use him for in some kind of double pivot, like I always say, or some kind of midfield 3, something like that. Basically an all-rounder in the middle of the park. Nick a few points from a few other areas, and then like the attacking rate straight away is horrible. Yeah, as an all-rounder, that's probably just about all you can do, really. Still not great on the ball. Passing's not great. Attacking runs is awful. Finishing 52. Yeah, don't shoot. Defensively, still got a bit of defensive ability there, but down the right, not brilliant. Stamina's kind of okay-ish. Physical contact for a centre mid, kind of okay-ish, but yeah, not brilliant athletically. So yeah, as an all-rounder in the middle of the park, not as convinced. I mean, skill-wise, he's a bit better set up for that kind of a role, but you still need through passing. So yeah, all things considered, I'm not sure he'd be too great as a centre mid, really. I think as any kind of midfielder, he's going to be best off as an anchorman defensive midfielder, whether you auto-allocate him or whether you shuffle the points around like I did. Could do a job as a DMF. I think that's where he's looking best as some kind of midfielder. Before we go to centre-back, you could make him a wide midfielder. I'm not expecting much. Let's go right midfield, yeah. I mean, you can see straight away from auto-allocation, he'd be rubbish as a winger, so let's forget all about that. But centre-back, can you make him a centre-back? Well, defensively, hell yeah, some good defensive stats there, but you've had to go up to 16 on defending there to get him into the 90s in all his defensive stats. Has he got enough physical and aerial strength to play centre back? I would seriously question that, and he's definitely lacking skills. He's got heading and aerial. Jumping height 270 is not disastrously bad, but it's not good. It's not good at all. You're going to need man marking, blocker, acrobatic clearance, those 3 for a start if you're going to make him a centre back. If you nick 1 off defending at least, you could. Can you nudge that aerial up a bit more? Maybe you need to nick a bit more off those defending stats. Yeah, I'm not sure. You're going to find him lacking in 1 or 2 areas, whatever you do. Yeah, it's an iffy one. I think you're best off. Yeah. He could do a job. He could do a job, but those skills are really important. Man marking and blocker would be the first 2 that you really need to give him. I'd recommend acrobatic clearance as well. You might want to give him sliding tackle if you do a lot of sliding tackles. But he does have some of the skills he needs, and he can make him decent. Not amazing. Those defensive stats are strong. Down the right there, physical strength is borderline. The aerial strength there, you can get away with that, but depends who you're up against. If your opponent's spamming across in for a big tall striker, you're going to be in big trouble. Pace you can get away with, but as I've been saying lately, with the way the kind of power creep's been going with centre backs a year or so ago, that pace has been pretty reasonable looking for a centre back. Nowadays, not looking bad, but it's not looking great. So yeah, as a centre back, could do a job. He is fully proficient now. Won't have a playing style, as I showed when I did a video on centre backs without an active playing style. He'll be pretty much a build up, near enough. Very 2-footed. Don't always get that on centre back. So yeah, there's plenty to be said for him as a centre back, but you do desperately need a few skills on him. And it's going to be a bit of a question mark over the physical and aerial strength. But yeah, as a centre back, could do a job, and then as a defensive midfielder, like I say, as we saw, could do a job there as well. So yeah, it's not an amazing 4-star card, but it is a 4-star card, and you could certainly do worse. It could be a very decent versatile option for your Japan squad who can cover defensive midfield and centre back anytime you really need someone. Whatever position you play him in, though, he does lack 1 or 2 skills. That's the one negative. Outside the fact there's no regular league challenge for French league players. Could do with a few skills as well. So there's 1 or 2 negatives that go against him. But you've got a couple of positions where you could use him and he could do a job for you. Not going to be brilliant in either position, but could certainly do a job. So yeah, depending on whether you rock a Japan squad primarily, but yeah, maybe you just desperately need a defensive midfielder. I don't know. I think for some people it could be a handy one. Certainly got a couple of positions he could do a job for you. Not an amazing card, not a terrible card. But some people, though, could be a handy one. And on to the 5 stars. We'll start with Koopmeiners from Juventus. So he has been playing centre-back quite a bit. They've made him a build-up centre-back. He is normally a DMF and a box-to-box. He's been an orchestrator, I think, in the past. But yeah, at the moment, he's defensive midfielder, box-to-box. He's been made a build-up centre-back, and they made him fully proficient as a centre-back. Unwavering form, and we do have a regular league challenge for this guy, so you can use him in the Italian League Challenge. And then skill-wise, again, they've added one skill, blocker. So yeah, you can now play him as a centre-back, and he's got one of the defensive skills he needs. But sadly, he's not got all of them, because he doesn't have interception, he doesn't have man marking, doesn't have aerial superiority, acrobatic clearance. That's 4 that he needs. What would you do for the 5th? Heading, sliding tackle, probably one of those 2, wouldn't it? He's got some nice ones on the ball though, but yeah, they made him a centre-back and they've given him just one of the defensive skills he needs. Would have been nice if they'd given him some more, but we'll see how good he's a centre-back or whether he's going to be better in one of his normal positions. So let's go train him up on the hub. So is he a good centre-back? He's kind of similar to Seko, to be honest. He's a bit lacking physically and aerially, defensively fairly strong, but again, we're up to 14 on defending, so auto allocation is being pretty inefficient again, in my opinion. Yeah, he's kind of okay, but he's not looking too amazing. We've had quite a few Koopmeiners cards. What you're going to find, obviously, is a very different role they've given him, but with his highlights, you can train his highlights as a centre-back. This is just about the best Koopmeiners card. Am I saying it right? Koopmeiners? I think Koopmeiners is how the commentator says, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyway, it's just about the best version we've had of him as a centre-back, but you can train his highlight cards as a centre-back because they're DMFs, and obviously centre-back is adjacent to DMF. There's at least one highlight card that's not far off this one, really, as a centre-back. If you give him his regular position DMF, you train him that way with the auto allocation. He's better than some of his other cards as a defensive midfielder, mainly from the defensives, but most positions, especially when you move him into attacking midfield, may give him a more attack-minded build. Previous versions tend to be better. And the way they've changed it from his GP card is pretty much to be expected, really. So they boost him, but boosted his defending a bit. He's done a decent boost to a bunch of other stats, including his pace. He's lost a few points with his attacking awareness and finishing. Obviously, I kind of expect that. And again, 1 or 2 points coming away from set pieces and curl. That's where they seem to be sneaking a few points away for some reason. I don't know why they do that. Don't know what the benefit is to doing that. But yeah, it seems like either heading and jumping or set pieces and curl seem to get nerfed on players to some extent, just about every single time. But yeah, a bit better defensively. It's what you're looking at, really. A more defensive Koopmeiners. He looks kind of okay, but yeah, like I say, I mean, the pace is a bit of an issue as well. Again, like I said with Seko, that pace these days, you could get away with that a year or so ago, but these days, so many centre-backs are getting into the 80s for speed. He's not slow, this guy, but could be quicker. And again, aerial, I mean, what's the vertical reach? 262, awful. He's going to be terrible in the air. He's not got aerial superiority or heading. His heading's not great. So yeah, aerially, big concern. Physical strength, you can get away with that for a centre-back, but I'd like it to be higher. So yeah, he's on the whole, he's not looking too great as a ball playing centre half. He's going to be, you want to kind of build up from the back. Yeah, there's some qualities there. He's going to be all right on the ball for centre back. He's certainly got some nice passing skills, but in the important areas there, he is lacking in one or two places, and certainly needs a bunch of defensive skills. So as a centre back, big question marks. Could you make him a fullback? I doubt it. He's not going to have the pace, is he? I mean, the speed's okay, but the acceleration is not great. You could get away with him as a defensive fullback on the left, certainly. I wouldn't recommend all the position trainers though. I don't think that's a smart idea. Skill-wise, he's fairly well equipped. Just still needs 1 or 2 defensively though. But yeah, I don't think fullback's going to be on the menu for many people. But if you push him a bit further forward, as you can see, as I touched on there, he's better defensively than he normally is. Certainly got enough defensively to play DMF, but not as great on the ball. Some of those technicals not as great as they often are with Koopmeiners. So yeah, he could certainly do a job there. The passing is the main thing for me. Yes, he's got a bunch of passing skills, but fully boosted 84 for low pass is not great on any kind of midfielder. I don't think he's going to be an out-and-out defensive mid for anyone. So let's do more of an all-round build. We'll do a kind of centre mid build or a kind of deep line playmaker build. So we'll take a bit away from those defending stats. And let's just see, can he get his passing back to the kind of level you want it to be at? Yes, just about. Dexterity is pretty lacking, isn't it, though? Balance is poor, attacking awareness is poor. He can't shoot to save his life. Bit of a shame that he can shoot in real life. He's got a shot on him. As you can see, you've got low end shooting, rising shots, first time shot. Does he not deserve a bit more for finishing? I know they nerfed it a bit because it's a centre back build. I guess it makes sense in that regard. Just looking to see if we can get any points for dexterity, but we can't really. Just nick a couple at least from aerial. Is that worth it? No, it's probably not, is it? Let's undo that. I stick 1 on shooting, yeah. You can make him decent as a midfielder. Like I say, previous versions of him, you can make him a bit more appealing as a midfielder. It's a bit easier to make him, better on the ball, passing and just generally, the awareness and finishing tends to be a bit better. But he is a bit better defensively. So as a midfielder with some degree of defensive responsibility, it could be a pretty appealing version of Koopmeiners. So yeah, definitely could still make him decent in the middle. You're not as lacking in skills. I think interception would be an important one to give him if you're going to play him in midfield or in any position really. But certainly, you've got blocker that's been added, fighting spirit, and then when you get him on the ball, you've got the shooting skills, which won't make much difference with his terrible finishing stat. But certainly, you've got the passing and the crossing. So yeah, as a kind of deep line playmaker, could be an appealing version of this guy. I've just given up trying to pronounce his name. I must have pronounced it about 5 different ways already now. But yeah, a few ways you can use him there in the middle of the park. You can certainly make him decent. When you get into the really attacking positions, when you can play him as a wide forward either side. Can you make him a wide man? He's not got the pace, is he? Let's just get rid of all the defensive ability. What can we do with him? You can't make his shooting any good. Yeah, I mean, he's not really got the pace to play out wide, has he? Clearly. He got up to 8 on lower body and dexterity. He's still a bit slow. Yeah, I don't fancy this guy as a wide man at all. But as an attacking mid, or maybe even an SS just behind the attack, where the pace isn't so important anymore. I mean, the shooting, he's not got the shooting for SS already, has he? As an AMF, though, yeah, you could do a job as an AMF. I'm just going to, try and nudge his ball control to 90. It's not really worth it, is it? Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You could, as a kind of playmaker, a kind of number 10, yeah, could do a job. Fairly tidy on the ball. Good passing, but the attack awareness sucks. His shooting's going to be terrible. Got the bonus of some defensive ability there. A bit of kicking behind his shots, which will still be pretty terrible. Yeah, not the best version of him going forward. Previous versions have been a bit better going forward. But yeah, as a centre mid or defensive mid, if you gave 1 or 2 skills, could be a decent all-rounder. As a centre back, the position they've given him, some qualities there as a kind of cultured, build-up centre-back, building up from the back. Yeah, it could be decent, but there are issues there. The pace isn't great, aerially terrible, physically a bit lacking, and he needs a bunch of skills. So, yeah, I'm slightly disappointed with this card, to be honest. You got a few ways you can use him where he could do a job, but he's going to be lacking in 1 or 2 areas, no matter what position you play him in. So, yeah, I'm not going to say this is a bad card. It could be a handy one for your Italian squad where he's versatile, could cover 1 or 2 positions for you, but like I say, with all these cards, I'm looking at what position they're going to be best in and how much value you're going to get. And I just don't think this guy's going to be that great in any position. A handy one in a few positions to give you a bit of versatility, especially off your bench maybes, yeah. But is he great in any position? In my opinion, no. So could be a handy one for a lot of people. Certainly an interesting one. But is it a great card for a 5-star in any particular position? Nah, not in my opinion. And next up, we got Patrick Dorgu from Man United. So face scan, he is a whole player now, left midfield. So he's normally a left back, he's normally a fullback finisher. So they've made him a left midfielder now. He's got the usual positions he's got. I don't know why they've not made him fully proficient on the right. If this is a role change card, it's based on different positions he's played. He's definitely played on the right for Man U. He played on the right against Newcastle and scored a really good goal. I'm sure he's played on the right a bunch of times. Why not make him fully proficient on the right? That's a bit strange to me, but I don't watch him that much. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, not the first Dorgu card we've had. We've had a highlight. That was a fullback finisher card. Fairly similar, to be honest, overall. Both as a winger or as a fullback. It's kind of stats shuffled around a little bit. But yeah, have they done anything with the skills? Yes, they have. They've added 2 skills. They've added long-range shooting and first-time shot. That's about it. I could have done with maybe 1 or 2 more than that. But yeah, as a left winger, and he's a left-footed left winger as well. Pinpoint crossing is an important one, and now I've got first time shot and long-range shooting. So we've got a few decent ones to start, but you can do with maybe a couple of passing skills, maybe a couple of skill moves. Depends on what kind of winger you want to make him, really. Certainly, if you still want to use him as a fullback, you're going to need to give him at least some defensive skills because he's got none. So yeah, potential issues with the skills there, but let's go train Dorgu up. How good is this Dorgu? Yeah, it's not amazing, is it? Let's be honest. Yeah, so he's rapid, got good stamina. Apart from that, what's he particularly good at? Nothing, really. He's kind of okay at dribbling. His crossing will be reasonable. That's about it, really. It doesn't look great as a fullback, to be honest. As a winger, sorry. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing. I was expecting a bit better. What have they done from his GP card? They have obviously nicked a couple of points off his set piece taking. Like I say, they do it with everyone these days for no apparent reason. They boosted him on the ball. They boosted his lofted pass a bit. His finishing's up a bit. Still not great. He's got a bit of acceleration as well. But 11 points on his kicking power and physical contact. Fair enough. A bit on his defending still, even though he's not a defender anymore. Yeah, I don't want to say this is a bad card, but is he got the stats you want from a winger? He's not got the stats I want. He's not got good attacking awareness. He's not particularly great on the ball. The low pass is bad. Yes, the crossing's all right, but it's not amazing. If his low pass isn't particularly good and his finishing's bad, then you need his crossing to be good, not all right. So yeah, end product bit disappointing, on the ball bit disappointing. It's just an athlete, really. This isn't a great winger to me. Not many points he can really shuffle around. He can nick a few off lower body, I guess. And what are you going to do, really? Make him better at dribbling? Yeah, maybe. Could do that if you want to make him better on the ball. Could be reasonable then, yeah, maybe. If you think he's all right on the ball already, you could beef his crossing up a bit. Is that worth doing? Don't know. Possibly. Yeah, I'd be inclined to make him better on the ball personally, I think. But even just doing that doesn't look that exciting to me. Still fully boosted, only 87 ball control, 85 type possession. He's not going to be great on the ball, even with a few points being added to his on the ball attributes there. And like I say, end product wise, all he's got is crossing, and even his crossing won't be that great. 84 lofted, 71 curl, kicking 85. Not great even with pinpoint crossing. So yeah, this is a pretty meh left winger to me, to be honest. It's not looking too exciting. As a right winger, are you going to get that finishing high enough to be cutting in from the right hand side and getting shots off? He's got a couple of shooting skills there, but 70 finishing after 4 points. How high can he get his finishing? Not particularly high. I mean, is it worth the position trainers? No, probably not. You could make him all right as a right winger, but yeah, I mean, you've got to absolutely murder that low pass to get his finishing to a respectable level. So not looking too great as a right winger for me. You can position train it for any central midfield position, but how good can you get his passing? I mean, not very. Even if you go all the way up to 12, 79 low pass, fully boosted, he's not going to be any kind of DMF, CMF or AMFSE, let's be honest. So yeah, any kind of midfield position, he's not looking great. I'm not saying he's terrible as a winger, but just to go back to auto allocation, I want so much more than that from a left winger. And this is a 5-star card, so for me, that's pretty disappointing as a winger. But he does still have fullback. He can still play as a left back. Is that going to save this card? Borderline. So, I mean, certainly down the right athletically, he can absolutely fine as a fullback. Defensively, a bit lacking, but I think it's fair to say this guy will be an attacking fullback. I did show when I did the video on fullbacks without an active playing style. A fullback without an active playing style is basically an attacking fullback. So he will very much be an attacking fullback unless you put defensive on him. But putting defensive on this guy, I don't think he's going to give you enough defensively as a defensive fullback. So yeah, as an attacking fullback, you can definitely get away with him. That low pass is awful. That's really concerning. Be very, very, very careful passing the ball with this guy if you're going to use him as a fullback with a build like this. I certainly wouldn't put too many points on his passing to beef that up, because I don't know how many points you've got to spare really. I think if you're going to shuffle some points around, I would get the defending up a little bit. It'd be nice to nudge his physical contact to 80, yeah. I'd probably just do that. And then, I mean, if his passing's that bad, I'd be inclined to nick one from passing and nudge his ball control to 8, to be honest. 1 point left. Stick on shooting, nowhere else to put it. I mean, you can nick a call from dexterity, can't you? You could probably do that. Should we do that? Let's do that. We've got 3 points left. A bit more speed back. Yeah, he could be a decent fullback, actually. The one thing that's a really glaring weakness, though, is the low pass, which is awful. And I just momentarily forgot that he has no defensive skills. So yeah, big concerns at fullback as well. As a winger, any kind of winger to me doesn't look great. As a left back, which is what he normally is, I think you can make him decent. It's just that low pass is awful, and of course he does lack those skills. If I'm going to give him skills, I'm going to go interception, man marking, blocker, fighting spirit. I think those four are definite needs. But you might want to give him some passing skills to improve the low pass, because you don't want to give the ball away in defensive positions. So yeah, skill-wise, big issue at left back. Low pass is also a big issue at left back. But I think if we shuffle those points around, outside of the lack of skills and the low pass, he could be a solid attacking left back. As a winger, though, not quite so convinced. So yeah, only had one previous Dorgu that I can see. And I imagine there'll be more. Now he's at Man U and he looks like a decent prospect as well. So yeah, this probably isn't the best Dorgu card there's going to be. I don't think it's an amazing one. I do think as a left back, a couple of glaring issues. Yeah, someone banging on my door. Lack of skills at left back and low pass is poor. As a winger, don't think it's too great. So yeah, it's not the most exciting Dorgu card. I expect there will be better ones. If you don't have a Dorgu card, you really want one as a Man U fan, for example, then yeah, it could be a handy one to pick up. But yeah, for a 5-star contract in either position, I'm not really convinced it's going to give you the best value, really. Right, next 5-star, we've got Araújo from Barcelona, who is now a centre forward and a fox in the box. Obviously, is normally a centre back destroyer. Got a face scan, of course. Unwavering form, can use him in the Spanish League Challenge. They've also made him semi-efficient at SS if you wanted to do that for whatever reason. And according to eFootball Hub, he has expanded. He is 3 centimeters taller than normal, and he has gained 17 kilograms. This guy has been eating a lot of cake. Wow. Skill-wise, couple of changes as you would expect. So first time shot and super sub. That's about it. Yeah, so you got an interesting set of skills there. You got heading and aerial. You got first time shot, and then super sub, and then it's just defensive ones. So he's got most of the defensive skills he normally has: interception, blocker, sliding tackle, back clearance. So yeah, could be an interesting centre forward with a bit of defensive ability. But yeah, let's just get straight to it. Let's train him up. Let's go train Ronald up. How good does he actually look as a striker? Yeah, he could do a job. Could do a job. So it's not the first time I've had a striker version. There was a player of the week version without the booster active. Fairly similar to this one overall. Stats kind of shuffled around a bit. The booster does make the player of the week one bit better though. But yeah, he's looking all right. Can't really compare him to any other Araújo cards because obviously he's not been a striker before. But it looks like a usable striker. It looks like a player of the week striker, to be honest. Kind of, you know, the awareness and finishing kind of okay. Not great on the ball, decent pace, bit of variability. What's the vertical reach saying? 276.4. That's decent actually. He has grown apparently. Don't know if that's the eFootball player or not, but yeah, decent in the air, bit of pace, fairly strong. He's got most of the skills he'd need. He could do with acrobatic finishing, long range curler maybe. But yeah, it looks usable, but he's not great on the ball. His passing won't be great. Can he do much? He can't really boost his... you're not going to be hitting the 90 mark for awareness because it's not going to be very efficient to go past 12 in dexterity. You could if you really wanted. I mean, for example, if you took 4 from there, plus 4, you really want to do that? Not worth it, is it? Let's be honest. Finishing, can you boost that a bit? Because it's not great. I mean, where are you going to get the points? That's the question, isn't it? You don't need too much speed in the fox in the box. You could do that. Gets finishing and awareness both up to 89. I'd be inclined to maybe just accept that his finishing and awareness aren't going to be too great and just improve him a bit elsewhere. I personally like a fox in the box to be better on the ball because they will come short for the ball at times. Maybe I'll just do that, possibly. Yeah, I think as an all-rounder fox in the box, I would do that. Not looking amazing, but I think it'd be okay. You got to bear in mind he's a big, heavy, physical guy. Got a bit of strength. He's decent in the air. Little bit of pace, made him a bit more comfortable on the ball there. Passing's not too bad for a striker. Yeah, it could be all right. Could be all right. Could do a job for you. Would I do much else? I think a fair few people are going to be looking at this thinking, can you make him a real crossband monster? Let's answer that question. Let's do a crossband build, shall we? Yeah, you can make him pretty good in the air. Let's just leave it a little bit lower than that. Use goalkeeper 1. Get him a bit more kicking power. Yeah, so you can get him to over 280 jumping height. That's good. Strong in the air. He will win a lot of headers for you. Heading up to 90. Physically strong as well. That helps to win those headers. Bit of pace on him and some kicking power. Well, not a great deal of kicking power, to be fair. Obviously, with sacrifices on the ball ability, because if you're just going to be spamming crosses into him, then we don't need to control the ball so much. The awareness and finishing, if even, like I say, you're pretty much player of the week level for both of those, so they're okay, it's just not amazing. Yeah, as a crossband build, I think it could be handy if you're going to be throwing a lot of crosses into the box, especially second half. You throw this guy on as a super sub. He's got the super sub skill, and that will increase his attack awareness a bit. Could be a handy super sub if you're trying to get a goal late on, throwing the ball into the box. Yeah, kind of crossband build, reasonable, not amazing, but pretty reasonable. But yeah, he just kind of looks like a handy striker, to be honest. You can't make him amazing. He's not going to be great. I don't think you expect an Araújo card to be an amazing centre forward, but it certainly could be decent as an all-rounder or as a kind of crossband build. And his normal position centre back, is he going to be great as a centre back? Not really. I mean, it's barely better than his GP card, to be honest, apart from the left column, of course, where he's been boosted with some attacking stats. But yeah, apart from that, you might as well just have his GP card, to be honest. Just choose Barca in the Spanish League Challenge and you get his loan card. Happy days. But yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, he could certainly do a job still as a centre back. Just the awareness is pretty iffy, isn't it? And he needs a few skills. He needs some man marking and maybe he's one or two others. Essentially, man marking is the main one, really. So yeah, could still do a job as a centre back, but I don't think there's been a single previous version of Araújo that's not better than this one as a centre back. But certainly, as a striker, it's an interesting one. He's had the kind of boost you expect from his GP card. They put a ton of points on his awareness and finishing. I think it's like 26 points on his awareness and finishing at level 1. A bit of a boost on the ball. Yeah, apart from that, a few on some of his physical stats really, albeit only 1 point on heading and no points on jumping. That's a bit of a shame, really. Bit of a missed opportunity. Could have made him a much more fun card if they boosted him aerially. But yeah, it is what it is. It's pretty much what you'd expect for an Araújo centre forward card. Handy, could do a job, decent in the air, just not an amazing one. And he's not much better as a centre back than his GP card, really. We do have right back actually. We've got a few positions here. You can still make him a decent right back. Horrible on the ball though. And again, well, actually, pretty well equipped with the skills. Actually, just maybe he could do with some passing or crossing skills as a right back. But yeah, could do a job as a right back still. Not amazing. Certainly not the best right back version of Araújo that we've had. DMF passing is going to suck, isn't it? Yeah, that's not happening. Horrible on the ball. If you really don't mind their stats being low, then yeah, he could do a job as a DMF. But yeah, all things considered, not amazing. Stamina's bad as well. So yeah. You got an Araújo card is kind of okay as a centre back or a full back, but essentially it is what it is. It's very much a centre forward version of him. Is it an amazing centre forward? No, but as a version of him, of Araújo, fun one for sure. If you're a Barca fan, if you like this guy, it could be a fun one to add to your ranks. Could be a very usable option for your Spanish League challenge. He's not a top level striker by a stretch, but it's certainly one who could do a decent job. Could be an all rounder, solid all rounder with Fox in the box. Could be tidy in the air if you do a crossband build like I did just a minute ago. Could definitely be very useful in the air. So yeah, in terms of overall ability, not an amazing card, but it's an interesting one. It's a fun one. Bit of bonus defensive ability as well if you use him as a centre forward. So there's plenty to be said for him. It could be a very interesting card for a fair few people. This could be a very interesting option for your Spanish League squad. And next we have Trincão from Sporting in Portugal. So we've got a face scan and we have a creative playmaker. So he is normally a prolific winger and a right wing forward. They've made him fully proficient at attacking midfield and a semi-proficient centre midfield. They made him a creative playmaker. Only standard form, and there's no regular Portuguese league change. So it's another card where there's going to be limited use for him, which is a shame. Maybe you rock a Portugal squad. I don't know. Maybe he's good enough to get in your main squad. We'll find out in a second. Skill-wise, any changes? Yeah, they've added one skill. Outside curler, that's it. So yeah, I could have added a couple more, couldn't they? What have we got there? 8, so there's a couple more spaces. That's stingy. Give us a couple more. But we've got one touch passing, 2 passing already. First time shot, long range curler. Heel trick's a nice one. Double touch, rising shots. Yeah. Outside curler is a nice addition. He's not overly 2-footed, so yeah, outside curler is a nice one. But let's get to it. Let's train him up. Let's see how good he is. He's interesting. Very nice on the ball. Very nice on the ball. Interesting. Passing though, iffy. For an attacking midfielder, I'm surprised they've gone up to 12 on dribbling, only 8 on passing. I mean, if you reverse that straight away, that's again much nicer. Shame you can't hit the 90 mark for low pass. You go up to 12, you only get to 89, but close enough. His passing will be decent. I would certainly do that personally. I think it's much more important to get the passing up than to just go ham on his on-the-ball attributes as an attacking midfielder, as a playmaker. The shooting's alright for an attacking midfielder, 82. He's got a couple of shooting skills. Decent pace, reasonable balance. Stamina's poor, he's going to get tired. A little bit weak. You're going to get mastered off the ball a lot as an attacking midfielder. You've got defensive midfielders all around you. Physically strong DMFs, yeah, might be an issue, but yeah, you got some ability there. Could be tidy as an attacking mid. We've had quite a few versions of Trincão. We've had a couple of Player of the Week cards. It's a bit better than his Player of the Week cards as a wideband or an SS. You can't play his Player of the Week cards as an attacking midfielder. One of those Player of the Week cards has a booster though, which makes it pretty similar overall to this one. We've had a few highlight versions of Trincão as well. They tend to be semi-proficient as an attacking midfielder, so you can train them as an attacking midfielder. None of them are quite as good as this an attacking midfielder, to be honest, but they're not far off, not a massive difference. And his highlight cards tend to be pretty similar as a right wing forward, to be honest, but they tend to be a bit better on the ball than this one, whereas this one has a bit more on balance. There's a centre forward. Yeah, I don't know. Is he good as a centre forward, this guy? Well, he could be all right, to be fair. He could be all right. So, again, you know, you're not quite getting up to the kind of 90 mark for awareness and finishing, but you're close enough. He's got decent enough awareness and finishing. Nice on the ball for striker. Decent pace. Good balance. Got a bit more strength on him there. Passing will be nice for a centre forward. Got a first-time shot. Is it worth the position trainers? I don't know. Possibly. For some people, it could be a nice option. I think if you're a fan of this guy, it could be an option for you. He's getting some good form, apparently. He's only had one form of bad week. He's had a lot of A and B form. Nice. So yeah, you got an option at centre forward, but I think for most people, he's either going to be a wide man or he's going to be a number 10. So let's go back to auto allocation. Let's just see how good a number 10 we can make him. We did initially just beef his passing up a bit. Would I do anything more beyond that? I think, to be honest, I wouldn't. I think I'd leave it around about there. Of course, if you're not too well about the passing, you could just keep him better on the ball, do something like that, or just go with the auto allocation. He's going to be lovely on the ball, this guy. Might want to give him one, two skill moves. Might want to give him soul control. Really kind of, you know, make the most of how good he is on the ball. But yeah, whichever way you tweak those points around, as a number 10, he could be pretty handy. His shooting will be reasonable for that kind of a player in those spaces behind the attack. Passing will be decent, albeit not amazing. Just going to get tired a bit, and his balance isn't amazing. So yeah, is it an amazing card? No, but it's a pretty decent one. It's a tidy one. He could definitely do a job as a number 10 for you. And as a winger, has he got pinpoint crossing? He's not, has he? No. Could you make him a decent left winger putting crosses in? He's a left footer. I mean, again, if you went all the way up to 12 and passing there, the lows at 89, lofted at 84, not got a great deal of car, not amazing kicking power. If you gave him pinpoint crossing, his crossing would be reasonable. It wouldn't be amazing, it'd be all right. Could be an option on the left. I don't think it'd be amazing there, though. I think it'd be better on the right flank. So if you play him on the right, passing not as important. You take a bunch of points back from passing there. His shooting's already over 80. Need a little bit more pace, don't we? How quick can we make him? We can get him up to 89 speed and acceleration. Would I do much more there? I think the last four, I'd probably go too high on shooting, to be honest. I think as a right wing, it could be pretty nice. If you weren't too bothered about the passing as a winger, if you're focusing more on scoring goals, you could take more of his passing. And you could either make him better on the ball, get his shooting up even higher. Interesting. Maybe. There's a few ways you could shuffle those points around, but I think he could be a pretty tidy winger. The stamina's a bit of a concern, and the balance isn't amazing, but you can give him a decent amount of pace. He's going to be nice on the ball just about every way you train him. The awareness is going to be decent. The finishing can be potentially pretty good. He's got first-time shot on long-range curler as well. The passing, depending how you train him, is going to be at least reasonable. And he's got one touch on through, of course. So, yeah, I think as a right winger, that might be a very appealing way to use this guy. It's definitely an option for you. So, yeah, as a winger who's going to be deep, very nice on the ball with a bit of end product as well, that's definitely an option for you. And then through the middle as a kind of number 10. The passing is not going to be amazing. You have to put quite a few points on there, but you can make his passing good enough. You definitely got the option. It could be a tidy one, this guy. So, yeah, whether you're playing him through the middle or out wide, it's a tidy version of Trincão. He's not the most exciting boost from his GP card, to be honest. They put about 9 or 10 points on his physical contact and his balance. Apart from that, though, bit of pace, low pass and finishing. Not a lot else really going on, to be honest. Not the most exciting boost, but it's a tidy version of him. Overall, he has been boosted enough that it's a good version of Trincão. The fact that you can play him as an attacking mid as well could be very interesting. There's a few people in the player base who like this guy. I've had one version of him and he felt all right to me. Not amazing, but I didn't use him that much, to be fair. But yeah, you kind of got he's going to be very nice on the ball, and it's just a question of how you shuffle those points around. But as we've seen there, whether you play him out wide, which I think he'd be much better on the right than the left, cutting onto his left foot, or whether you play him as a number 10, which you can particularly do now as an attacking mid, I think it's a tidy one. Nice on the ball, potentially some decent amount of end product. It's going to depend how you shuffle the points around, but whichever way you train this guy, I think it could be handy. But it's a shame there's no regular league challenge again. So yeah, maybe there's 1 or 2 things that go against him a bit, but he's got some good skills. I think the ability overall through the middle or as a right winger makes it a pretty tidy card, and it might not be a bad option for a 5-star contract. And we've got Rafael Leão, of course, because we've obviously not had enough Rafael Leão cards in the game. So he's got his face scan. So he is a centre forward now. They've changed him from a left wing forward and a prolific winger to a centre forward, deep line forward. I thought he already had centre forward. I've had 1 or 2 Leão cards that had centre forward as a position. Did they take it away now they put it back? What's going on there? This doesn't seem like the most exciting choice for a role change pack. But yeah, either way, they made him a deep line forward, and they've apparently Have they added centre forward? I'm just going to check in the background now because that's going to bother me. I thought he already had centre forward. No, semi-proficient apparently. Fair enough. I'm sure he used to have it. Maybe he didn't, and then he did, and now he didn't again, and now he does again, and I'm just getting confused. Anyway, you got Rafael Leão. He's a deep line forward. It's an option for your Italian league squad. Only standard form. That's about right. Skill-wise, they've added first-time shot, so that's a good one to have for a striker. Certainly, they've taken away chop turn to make room. We can live without chop turn, I'm sure. Got a few skill moves as you'd expect. You've got the ball roll, double touch quick back soul control. Got long range curler, heel trick. Got pin through passing as well. Pretty good section skills actually for a striker, or if you're playing wide left like he normally, which is where he normally plays. Let's go train him up though. Let's see how good this Rafael Leão card is, either through the middle or wide left. So as a striker, yeah, you definitely got some nice stats. The awareness is decent. On the ball, he's very nice for a striker. Passing is pretty average for a striker. Finishing is not amazing. This is fully boosted, remember. 85 is not great finishing. We've only got up to 9 on shooting, and we can nudge that up a bit potentially if we nick some points from elsewhere. Pace is insane. He's rapid. He's got great balance as well. Got a bit of physical strength. So yeah, we've got some qualities, but the finishing's the main concern. We've had a few Legend of Showtime versions of Leão. They're obviously the better versions we've had of him. As a centre forward, it's near enough as good as we've had, really. He looks pretty par for the course as a winger. If you change it to left wing, obviously you've got some great stats there, but you always get them with Leão. Obviously the stats get shoved around from one to the next, but if you look through all the previous kind of highlight cards of Rafael Leão, it just kind of looks like just another Leão card. It doesn't really stand out in any particular way, really. Obviously in some ways he's a bit better. The finishing's decent, pretty good attacking awareness, but it doesn't look that interesting as a Leão card to me. Is it a good card? Yeah, absolutely, but yeah, it's just not that amazing, really. Not that different. I think for a Role Changers pack, I think there could have been some more interesting choices in this one. But if you're a big fan of the deep line forward playing style, then it could be a very interesting one for you. So there's that at least. And if you're looking at the one from the penalty game, this is a bit better, basically. That's about it. That's the gist of it. The way they boosted from his GP card, they've nicked a couple of points off his speed, but we can live with that. They boosted his awareness and finishing a little bit from his GP card, his ball control and tight possession. No points on his dribbling, but he doesn't need that, clearly. Low enough to pass him and boosted a bit. Kicking about, physical contact, not much else, really. That's the gist of it, really. So, yeah, we'll go back to centre forward. In fact, we'll just go to left wing first. We'll get that one out of the way because that's an easy one. Can he be good on the left wing? Yes, clearly. I mean, look at him. It's Rafael Leão. If you don't have a good Rafael Leão card, or if you don't have any Rafael Leão card, obviously this would be a great one to have. If you won't have an active playing style out wide, that doesn't bother me. But yeah, clearly he's got pace. He's going to be fantastic on the ball. The balance is pretty good. He's got a bit of physical strength. The passing won't be great. Be careful with the passing, although he's got through passing, which will help. But the awareness is good. The finishing's okay. Yeah, it's a Rafael Leão card. He's a big, strong boy, but he feels pretty good on the ball. He's a good dribbler. Could be very handy left wing like he always is. But up front, it's that shooting, isn't it? So let's just see. Can we boost that shooting a bit? Where are we going to get the points from? Nick some from low body. Don't really want to do that, but yeah, I'll put a bit back on low body there. Yeah, I'll do that. So awareness and finishing, pretty decent. Not amazing, but decent enough. On the ball, pretty nice for a striker. Passing isn't amazing. It's okay. I'd probably want it to be better for a deep line forward, to be honest, but as an out-and-out centre forward, I'll go with something like this. Amazing acceleration. The pace on the whole is good. Balance is good. Got a good set of skills. As a deep line forward, could be very tidy. Could be a very tidy option for you. But if you did want to make him a bit better, make him kind of suit that deep line forward playing style a bit better, I think you'd probably have to sacrifice a bit from the finishing and the maybe dexterity. I'm just going to leave the finishing at the +3 mark. You see it's at 84, that's where he goes +3 with an 89 rate manager. So I'm just going to leave him there for shooting. And then I'm going to beef his passing up a little bit. In fact, I'm just going to give him 90 dribbling, actually. Yeah, I would do that, I think, as a deep line forward. You can't make his passing amazing. But I think as a deep line forward, centre forward, yeah, nice on the ball. Finishing 87 is fine for a deep line forward. I think you can get away with that. Still got that pace, bit of physical strength. Yeah, I would probably be tempted to go something like that. Passing's a bit better there. With nudge that dribbling up to 90. I think as a deep line forward, that looks pretty nice to me. So yeah, and he's fairly two-footed. He could do with maybe he's giving an outside curl and maybe he's fighting spirit. Maybe he's long way shooting, one-touch pass. There's a few skills you could give him, to be honest. But he's got some very nice ones already. He's going to be lovely on the ball. He's got a bit of end product as well. So yeah, it's a tidy Leão card. I think the story with this card really is just the playing style. If you really fancy a deep line forward version of Leão, it could be a really nice card. But outside of that, most of us have had at least one Leão card by now, and if you've got one, you don't really need this one. It might be a bit better than the one you've got, but even the kind of the lower rated Leão cards aren't far off this one. So yeah, is it a good card? Yes, it could be a very nice centre forward option if you like that deep line forward playing style. Left wing without an added playing style could be very handy for you. Could definitely be a very nice option for your Town League squad, but do you need a Leão card? I don't think many people do really. So it depends which way you look at it. In terms of the ability and everything, yeah, good. In terms of the playing style, for some people it could be great, for other people not so great. But all things considered, yeah, I think it's even though it's a good strong card, it's just not that exciting for a Leão card. I don't think it's a particularly exciting choice for this pack really, but obviously it's a good card, and for some people it could be a very nice pickup for a 5-star contract. And we finish up with right back Szoboszlai. So he's got his face scan. He's an attacking fullback now, and they've made him a right back. So he's normally an attacking midfielder and a creative playmaker. So they've made him fully efficient right back, attacking fullback playing style, unwavering form. And then skill-wise, so they're changing from midfielder to a fullback. So obviously there's been a change with the skills. They've given him an outside curler. Yay! Sadly, they've not given him any defensive skills whatsoever. Fair enough, I guess. So you got a bunch of shooting skills if you want to shoot from right back. You got one touch through. But yeah, not even got pinpoint crossing. So no pinpoint crossing and no defensive skills. Yeah. Oh well, let's train him up. Let's see if the stats are good. Are your stats good, Mr. Szoboszlai? Yeah, they're decent. Oof, look at that pace. So as usual, the auto allocation is absolutely absurd. You don't need to go all the way up to 96 speed, 98 kicking power, 97 stamina, especially when a nudge is tackling up a little bit. Maybe it's off the pass. If you just want crazy pace, yeah, as a very attacking fullback, yeah, he's very, very fast. But I don't think you need that much pace. I would go all the way down to 8 on low body. I would then go up to 12 on defending. Shame you can't quite hit the 80 mark on awareness and tackling. I mean, you could if you want to go use those last 4 points. That actually looks pretty tidy, to be honest. That'll bother me OCD wise, just for the inefficient build, but and that could work pretty well. I personally would rather nick that last one and just get his lofted up to the 80 mark. I'd probably do that. Yeah, you can make this guy pretty decent attacking right back. Not an amazing one. I think some people would like a bit more in his defensive ability. Maybe there's a bit more acceleration if you're going to be greedy. Acceleration is not amazing. But on the whole, though, as an attacking right back, I mean, the attacking awareness on a fullback is crazy high. So yeah, you got some really nice stats there. He's obviously more of an attacking fullback than a defensive fullback, and that's before you even look at the fact that there are no defensive skills whatsoever, which is a big issue. But yeah, as a very attacking right back, could be handy. If you are going to give him those defensive skills, like I said, I've already forgotten who I was talking about, but you need to give him interception. I would give him man marking blocker as well, fighting spirit, maybe acrobatic clearance, maybe sliding tackle, but he needs a bunch of skills. Pinpoint crossing, actually, I would give him. I thought he already had that, actually. I guess not. But yeah, he's desperately lacking skills as a right back, but you can make him a very attacking right back. And if you gave him those defensive skills, it could be a very handy one in that position. Yeah, I think that covers it really. You're not going to make him a defensive fullback really. Can you make him a sneaky centre-back? Sneaky centre-back Szoboszlai? No, clearly not. Not good enough defensively, not good enough physically, and certainly not aerially. In terms of normal positions though, you got those normal positions, but it's another one like with Koopmeiners where there's been a lot of Szoboszlai cards, and when you put him back into his normal positions, can he be good? Yeah, he can be good, but the further out the pitch you move him, the more you find that this is obviously a more defensive-minded Szoboszlai than normal. They have put a few points on his defending and are given a fairly nice boost to his physical contact. There's a few points on his balance, acceleration. Not much else going on though. So yeah, previous versions of Szoboszlai, we've had loads. The Showtime versions are the best, obviously. And then we've had like highlights and player of the week and so on. The better versions of Szoboszlai, most versions of Szoboszlai are better in attacking positions as attacking mids or as wingers. You can make them a bit better on the ball and so on. So yeah. Can you still make this version of him good as an attacking mid, centre mid, and so on? Yeah, I mean, certainly as a centre mid, you get a bit of a boost with the defending and the physical contact compared to what you normally get. So it could be a more usable version of Szoboszlai as a centre mid than one that you've got. That could make him appealing in that role. Certainly, I mean, can make him even better defensively, can you? Maybe give him some more aerial strength. What am I doing here? 80 physical contact. Yeah. Yeah, you can make him a very usable centre mid, to be honest. You know, not great defensively, but you'll be an attack-minded centre mid, more of a playmaker. You're not gonna want to give him too much defensive responsibility, and again, especially without any defensive skills. But as a kind of playmaker in the middle of the park with a little bit of defensive ability, could be handy. Like I say, that's the one thing he's got over previous versions of Szoboszlai, is that defensive ability and physical contact. But moving him higher up the pitch, you may well find that's where you get the most out of him. But again, if you've got previous versions of Szoboszlai, you may find, I'm trying to nudge those on the ball stats up a bit. There we go. Yeah, you may find you've got ones that are a bit better in those attacking positions, but you can still make this one good. You make him really good on the ball, good passing. He's got a great end product. The finishing won't be amazing. You could boost it up a bit, but you're gonna have to nick some points from elsewhere. It's just a question of where you want to get the points from. Athletically pretty decent though. So yeah, it's not one of the better versions of the Szoboszlai in attacking positions, but it's a right back version where you can make him a very good attacking right back who just doesn't have any defensive skills, which is a big concern. Obviously, you can put the skills on him. It would take you a lot of skill trainers though. But yeah, he's still got the positions. As an attacking mid, like I say, I'm just kind of making him an attacking mid in the background there while I'm rambling on. Can make him very tidy on the ball. Really good passing. Wide man, like I said, he's not got pinpoint crossing. I thought he did, but if you played him on the right, I mean, auto allocation is nonsense. I don't know why I just did that. On the right, you could make him pretty decent as a kind of cross spammer. Yeah, I'll probably be doing just about that, to be honest, on the right wing. So you can give him very decent pace for a right winger. The balance is kind of okay-ish. Great stamina, okay on the ball. Lofted 87, curl 87, kicking by 93. Yeah, if you give him pinpoint crossing, you'll have a decent cross on him. So as a right winger, could be a decent option. Could definitely do a very nice job for you on the right. And then from the left, cutting inside, getting shots away. Not as important with the passing. Get that shooting back up a bit. Can we nudge the shooting back up to 80? Easy peasy. Yes, we can. Yeah, it can be pretty nice from the left. Not amazing on the ball, but it'll be okay. Attacking wise and finishing at a decent level. Passing still at a very decent level for a wide man. Got some pace still. Good kicking power. He's great at set pieces, by the way. If he boosts his shooting up, oof, he's going to have a crazy free kick on him. Yeah, it could definitely be an option for the left. But yeah, like I say, if you've got a previous version of it, especially one of the Showtime versions, in attacking positions, its previous versions do tend to often be better than this one. But it depends on what previous versions you've got of him, and it depends what role you want to give him. So there have been better versions of him in attacking positions, but as a centre mid with a bit of defensive ability and a bit more physicality, could be a decent option for you. And certainly as a right back, has only been one other version. That was a Player of the Week one, which is fairly similar overall to this one. But as a right back, yeah, certainly statistically you can make him decent. You can kind of bounce out the stats a bit, nick some from nobody like I did, but he desperately needs some skills. So yeah, it's a usable one as a right back, but the skills are the big issue really. If you give him the skills, it could be a very interesting attacking right back, very interesting indeed. And then in more advanced positions, like I say, depending what position you're going to use him in, previous versions could be better, but it's still a good one. It's still a very interesting Szoboszlai card. It's a versatile one. Could be a very handy card for your English League squad if nothing else. So yeah, could give you some good value. Got a bunch of positions you use him in. He could be good in a bunch of in just about any position he's got really. Skills in any defensive position, maybe and centre mid as well could be an issue. You're going to need to give him some skills, but he's got some great ability. It's a very interesting version of Szoboszlai, and yeah, it could be a very handy card and a very interesting card for a fair few people. So there's your Role Changers pack. I think that's all right. I don't think it's amazing. I think in terms of the choices, there's some interesting enough ones. I always complain when they give us cards you've had a million versions of before. And certainly you could say that with Leão especially. You could say about Szoboszlai and Araújo. Some other ones are interesting though, but they're all interesting for the position change, the role change. So in terms of the pack being a bit different and not just the same cards that we've had over and over, even with the same players, but the role change, the position change, I do think it's an interesting pack. I do think it's quite a fun one. I think Mbappé is one of the better 4-star cards we've had in a while. Seko's okay. He's not bad for a 4-star in a couple of positions. Koopmeiners, I just don't think quite does it in any position. Certainly got some qualities wherever you play him, but I don't think everything's quite where you need it to be in terms of the stats and the skills in any position you can use him in. Dorgu, not a particularly interesting card to me. I don't think it looks great as a winger. Fullback, one or two big concerns as well. But he's probably better as a fullback than a winger, in my opinion at least. Araújo as a striker, interesting. Is he amazing? No. Could be an interesting card, a fun card? Yeah, it could be a decent one for a fair few people. Trincão through the middle or wide right could be a very nice one, albeit lack of a regular league challenge. Szoboszlai, load of positions. Like I was just been saying, you know, it depends what version you've got. Depends if you want to give him the skills, but it could be a very, very handy card. And then Leão, just another Leão card, really. Yes, there's a playing style change. I think this is probably the least interesting choice in this pack. I was hoping, I'm always hoping for Newcastle cards as a Newcastle fan, obviously. This is the kind of pack I was hoping for because I thought that was a great chance to get a Lewis Miley card because Lewis Miley got changed to right back this season. He's been absolutely brilliant at right back. I don't know why they've not put him in. He would have been a much better choice than Leão. Much more deserving as well because Leão's been a centre forward loads. He's played centre forward loads before. We had a few cards in the past that have got centre forward as a position. So I'm not sure that's really the most justified choice for this pack. But still, if you've not got a good Leão card, it could be a really nice one to have because it is a good card. So yeah, some good cards in there. One of the more interesting ones. It's still an amazing pack. I do think there's one or two in there. Primarily Dorgu and Koopmeiners that just aren't that great really, but I think for most people it should at least be maybe there's at least one or two decent cards or at least interesting cards in there. So yeah, not the best pack we've had, but it's certainly not one of the worst ones we've had lately. And hopefully for the majority of you at least there'll be at least one or two cards that'll be interesting for you. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think of this pack. Let me know who you're going to use your contracts on. Thank you for watching as always. There'll be one or two reviews coming up, Player of the Week, and a live stream today as well. I'm doing this Thursday morning or lunchtime right now. So yeah, keep your eyes out for more videos and one or two streams and jump in the Discord if you're not already there. Thank you for watching as always. Hope you found this useful and enjoy the rest of your weeks and your weekends. Take it easy. See you next time.